Join and support the Mucha Lucha podcast by going to the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Mucha Lucha to join us and help us make this podcast better every week. Also, find us on Twitter at Mucha Lucha Pod. That is Mucha Lucha Pod. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on the YouTube channel and on the iTunes podcast app. Also, you can find us on any other podcast app that you can find. Now, here are Rich and Los on another episode of the Mucha Lucha podcast.
¡Lucha! ¡Mucha lucha! ¡Mucha lucha! ¡Mucha lucha! It's the way of life! ¡Mucha lucha! ¡Mucha lucha!
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Wrestling Rants with Rich and Los. As you can see, this is your co-host Los, and I'm here to give my my weekly rant, or bi-weekly, because me and Rich are taking turns. And what I'm gonna rant about is something that a lot of you diehard fans are probably gonna be surprised about, and it's about part-timers, and the fact that a lot of these part-timers are coming in and taking the shine away from these younger guys, these up-and-coming guys that need the time to grow and to be the next faces of the new era, as they like to call it. You know, it's kind of, I'm not gonna say hard to talk about this, but it is in a way, because I do love all these old timers coming in and getting their last runs, but it's also it's like I said, it's taken away from these younger guys who need the shine, need the experience. Guys like Seth Rollins, guys like Kevin Owens, guys like even the mid-carders, if you want to call them that, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, who else comes to mind? Mojo Rawley, guys like that, Roman Reigns. These guys all need their time to shine. It is their time. This is the new era. And the fact that guys like Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, even Undertaker and Triple H, if you want to put them in that category, are coming back and getting main event matches is kind of disappointing, because they had their time, and I feel like they should probably give it up. They're past their primes, and them taking main event spots away from these younger guys is only hurting the product, because they're not able to put on the matches that they used to be able to put on. Like Undertaker, for example, was the main event of WrestleMania, and as you can see, he can barely move. So moving forward, I would like WWE to kind of distance themselves from bringing back these old guys, especially if it is to put them in a match against a younger guy, because it limits these younger guys, and it kind of I don't know, puts pressure on these younger guys to match what these older guys used to be able to do, and try to like I said, it puts pressure on them, because they feel like they have to keep up to the standards, when what they should be doing is working on their craft, working on their in-ring work, their promos and all this, and trying to grow as wrestlers. And the best way to do that is to put these young guys up against other younger guys, so that they can grow together, get that chemistry, because in a year or two, these older guys aren't going to be able to wrestle anymore. Perfect example is, like I mentioned before, the Undertaker versus Roman Reigns match. Terrible match. Terrible main event. One of the worst main events in all of WrestleMania history. As you can see, Undertaker was, unable to move around, perform the moves that he normally pulls off with ease. For example, the old school. In previous WrestleManias, he was able to pull these moves off, but he can't do it anymore. Bad hips. Another guy, although to a lesser extent, because he's able to move around a lot better, because he keeps his body in shape, with rigorous training, is Triple H. I love Triple H. He's one of my top 5 guys of all time. He's probably number 3 behind Rock and Stone Cold. But him coming back, and yeah, it was to put over a younger talent, but at the same time, a guy like Seth Rollins would have been better off, wrestling for a title, in one of the top 3 matches of the evening. So moving forward, especially starting with next year's WrestleMania. Now that Undertaker's gone, and now that Goldberg and Brock are on their way out, I would like WWE to start building towards the future a little bit more. You know, put more emphasis on putting these younger guys together so that they can grow together, grow that chemistry. You know, like probably the greatest rivalry of all time, Stone Cold versus The Rock. The reason why it was so great was because they worked together so well, they meshed together, and that's because they came into the business around the same time. You know, in terms of WWE, and they were able to wrestle each other multiple times and get that chemistry down. Now, if you got guys like Roman Reigns, for example, who is still growing, you know, he's still trying to find his way around the ring. He's starting to get it. You know, he's starting to grow and be able to lead a match. You know, be that A guy, if you want to put it that way. But facing a guy like the Undertaker who can't really move around isn't going to help him at all. You know, and the fact that he is pretty much the one who retired the Undertaker, it's only going to hurt him moving forward, because now it puts that spotlight on him even more. And you know, hopefully he can grow and maybe live up to expectations. I know Vince and a lot of people in the company feel like he's the next guy. He's the next I don't want to say John Cena because they're different type of superstars, but he's the next top guy. They feel that way. A lot of people feel that way. I feel like he has the potential, and so does Rich, but wrestling guys like Undertaker isn't going to help him. He would have been better off, you know, facing a guy like Kevin Owens or a Seth Rollins. Yeah, and like, for example, the first example of like this hurting the future was 4 years ago when my favorite wrestler of all time, The Rock, came back. And as you guys know, CM Punk had this 450 plus streak, and The Rock comes back, third match back after 8 years away from the company. He wins the title, ends the streak, does something that guys who were there day in and day out couldn't do, which kind of hurts the credibility of CM Punk's reign. And although it doesn't matter anymore because him and the company don't get along, so he's not going to be mentioned. It did kind of sting, and when Goldberg beat Kevin Owens in less than a minute, it kind of brought back memories of that. That's why you heard on the Monday after that, the fans starting to cheer CM Punk, because they know it opened up a wound that was 4 years, trying to heal for 4 years, had 4 years to heal, but obviously hasn't. In retrospect, in hindsight, even though at the time I wanted The Rock to win, hindsight, I kind of wish he didn't. And that was the first crack in the CM Punk, Vince McMahon, beef, and the first rift. But that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, as I said, I feel like these part-timers need to go away. And if they are going to come back, if they do want to have one last hurrah, it should be against another part-timer. Kind of like the Goldberg Brock, but minus the title. I feel like the title, if you want to give that title credibility, you need to give it to one of these younger guys. A couple years ago, they did it perfectly when they did Triple H versus Sting. It was an interesting match. If Sting would have been able to move around a little bit better, it would have been a lot better. But in terms of nostalgia, it was fun. It was a great match, and it was a match that the fans didn't reject because it was two part-timers. And I feel like moving forward, if they are going to bring more part-timers, say like Kurt Angle, if he gets cleared and is able to wrestle, of course, perfect storyline for him would be Rusev. But then again, that would take away from Rusev's momentum, whatever momentum he will be building at the time, if that time were to come. So yeah, like, if they bring back these part-timers, they need to put them up against each other so that doesn't take away from the younger guys. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I know it's a bit surprising for me to rant about this, but I feel like it had to be said because even though I'm a fan of like guys like The Rock, guys like Triple H, guys like Brock and Goldberg, I'm also a fan of Kevin Owens. I'm also a fan of Seth. I'm also a fan of Roman, Dean. The younger guys, Bray Wyatt, and I feel like they need their time to shine, and doing it in pre-show matches or first or second matches on the card type matches and stuff like that isn't going to help them grow. and putting them against guys that can't move around is going to help them display their talents and help them grow in terms of in-ring work. So, like I said, moving forward, WWE needs to kind of shy away from bringing back these part-timers. Yeah, nostalgia is great, but the future could be greater if they give these young guys more time and give them like parallel opposition, equal opposition. You know, guys that could grow with them, grow alongside. It'll help the brand in the future. It'll help WWE. It'll help the new fans get attached to their superstar, whichever superstar they relate to. You know, because that's what it's about. It's about the fans. It's about them feeling like they have a connection with the particular superstar. Like, for example, Rich. Rich loves Randy. He loves Bray. Why? Because he could relate to them in some weird way. I don't know. Don't ask me. And obviously, I relate to The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H. Right now, Brock. And obviously, that's because I'm huge. You know, as you can see, I'm got a perfectly sculpted body. But anyways, guys, that's my rant for the week. I'll be back in a couple of weeks to give my second rant. Rich will give his second rant in a couple of days because we're kind of late, as he probably brought up in his rant. So yeah, man, thanks for listening or watching, and hope you enjoyed Wrestling Rants with Rich, or in this case, Los, or as I like to call it, dropping bombs with Los Sama.